it's Courtney. I'm back with another video. Today, no makeup, because what I'm talking about today deserves all the attention. I don't need to be distracted with playing with my face and everything else, so went ahead and did my makeup first. I call this look slime. Anyways, I was going to wear my camouflage shirt that was more greens, but I couldn't find it, so got stuck with brown, so it doesn't really, go with this shirt, but who cares? So first off, let me say, some of you guys might not have any idea about any of this if you're not into the, creepy side of YouTube, because this is going to be involving, the creepy pasta, not commentary, the creepypasta reading channels, the channels that read creepypasta stories, Creepy McPasta, Creeps McPasta, Creepy McPasta, or Creepypasta Junior. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I know Corpse Husband does, there's so many, and I know that it's not as popular now, so there aren't as many channels, but there are a lot of reading channels, and they're all very similar. But today, I'm going to be talking about Creeps McPasta. Not creepy, not a creepy McPasta, Creeps McPasta. And then, oh my gosh, Pastel Belle. God, I couldn't remember her name. And her doing an interview with somebody, who claims to have been, groomed, essentially, by Creeps McPasta and Creepypasta Junior. So there's so many levels to this. There's so many points I want to make with this story. If you don't know any of this and you're not really into the creepy side of YouTube, or if you don't know who Pastel Belle is, if you want to come to the next video where you know what the hell I'm talking about, I understand, because I know my community is not, well, I guess part of my community is in, the ghost, or, paranormal side, but I'm not sure about creepypastas and that kind of stuff. So anyways, I won't be offended if you don't want to be involved in this one, or you don't want to hear what happens with this one. So, let me start from the beginning. 2 days ago, I believe, I saw an upload from Pastel Belle, who does, the Dovey Vanity, cases. She gives all the victims a, place to tell their story, essentially. And I think the idea of that is really great. I love the idea of it. I think it's great that victims can tell their stories, but we'll go more in depth with the but later. But what I'll say right now is you have to be sure and vet your stories and know that this is not slander. Because if you don't know that this is something that happened, like with Dovey Vanity and Onision, it's real. There are so many people that have come out. There's so much, real, irrefutable evidence that, there's just no going, it's real. But with a story like this, and I heard somebody bring Repzilla into it, but you know what? I actually like Repzilla because he will say when he's not sure about a situation, like the William Control situation. He said, yeah, is it weird what they do? Sure, but is it illegal? No. So I'm not going to continue portraying a narrative that technically, yeah, it's weird, but he's not doing anything illegal. He's not doing anything, these people agree to do it, so there's nothing more for me to say about it. So in that aspect, I respect Repzilla, and I do like his content, but with Pastel Belle, she is more than willing to look past the tells that a story, just something's not right about it. But anyways, so she did an interview with a girl who said that when she was 12 years old, that Creeps McPasta basically made her feel like they were in a relationship, and was on Minecraft with her, and just a lot of stuff. Go watch Pastel Belle's video. It's her last upload. It's got a girl with like this much of her face blocked out in red, and it says Survivor across her face. You'll know it when you see it. And it says creepy pasta YouTuber or something like that in the title. You'll know what it is. It's her last upload. And then also watch the video that Creeps McPasta, all one word. Make sure that creeps, that S is at the end, McPasta, all lowercase. Then go watch his video. And it's pretty clear what happened. So this girl is a victim. She certainly is. I'm not going to take that victimhood away from her. Man, that sounded kind of like shady. I don't mean it like, oh, victimhood. No, like this girl really was a victim. Somebody really groomed her. She was really groomed, but it wasn't by who she thought it was. She was groomed by a catfish. But Pastel Belle did not vet her story, did not have any, like, proof, like, hardcore proof that it was him. There were no, FaceTime videos showing his face. There were no voice calls with his voice. He has a very, like, you would know it was him. There was no hard evidence. But I feel like Pastel Belle is willing to look the other way in the name of likes, views, money. And I understand at the same time, like, she just wanted this girl to be able to tell her story. But it's also slander. It is slanderous to say or to portray a narrative that is not true. And not mention that, hey, this could have been a catfish. That was never mentioned. And that happens a lot to YouTubers, especially ones that don't show their face. And especially once I watched his Creeps McPasta's My Response video, is what it's called. It's just called My Response. If you want to watch that, watch it soon, because he said he's going to delete it in like a week, because he doesn't want this attached to his name, and I can't blame him. He has never been in drama. He's never been in any of that kind of stuff, and now all of a sudden, the first thing when you type his name is exposed, accusations, grooming. That is horrible, and that sucks so bad. And, like, he did all these comparison screenshots from this person's texting to his texting. And it's just clear that it wasn't him. They weren't speaking the same. The dude said that he was at work. Creeps McPasta has never had a job outside of his home, other than when he was a teenager, and this was after he was a teenager. So that didn't line up. There's just multiple things that this catfish said that didn't make any sense, because he told the girl that he loves her, and he said that he doesn't tell people he loves them, even his own parents. He just doesn't say it. So the cheese fest made him even uncomfortable just reading it. Like, you could tell he was visibly uncomfortable reading those text conversations. You could just see it on his face. And I'm not laughing at the situation, but I am saying that it is just so clear that that wasn't him. Now, does it take away that girl was victimized? No. Like I said, she is still a victim. Now, another way that I'm looking at this is, I'm not blaming the girl by any means. This is not her fault. She was a kid. But if our children don't know that this kind of stuff can happen, that falls on us as parents. Shit. I told my daughter what happened to me when I was 12. And I'll just put it to you this way. She doesn't have her Xbox. She has nothing. She doesn't have a phone. She does not allowed on the tablet right now. She's allowed to have a TV with cable on it. That's what she's got right now. Because that's how far I will go to make sure that my child is not a statistic. Because these kids just don't get how dangerous it can be until it's too late. And I have just over and over and over and over and over, made sure and had these conversations with her. Hey, you know that your friend could be a 40-year-old man. You don't know what he looks like. You don't know who he really is. You don't know anything about this person. You might think you do, but you don't. Unless you're on like an actual video chat with somebody, which a catfish is never going to do. They're never going to get on a voice chat with you. They're never going to get on a phone call. They're not going to do that with you, because then they'll be outed. You'll know that it's not them. So as parents, we really need to drive this point home. I think I finally got it through my daughter's head, because I made her watch an Oprah Winfrey episode the other day about a woman who, it was called Woman Whose Daughter, her daughter basically committed suicide because she met a man online, and he lured her to a hotel. She was 13 years old, and he raped her. And it's just terrifying how easily that could be any of our children. So it is our job as parents to just make sure that they understand. Because if it would happen to your child, I know if it would happen to my child, even though I have relentlessly told her what can happen and what happened to me. And it wasn't even like an internet thing with me. Whenever I was a kid, though, yes, I did talk to somebody that was, and I knew that they were older than what they were, but at that age, like, we didn't realize what predators even were, or online predators, because the internet was new. It was, and I never did anything that, like, I never snuck out or, like, tried to meet up with this person, and I would never have, and I never sent anything I shouldn't be, nothing like that. But it was still wrong that I was talking to somebody that was a lot older than me, and still dangerous. But what did happen to me is my innocence was taken, and I didn't want that. I was 12. So we just have to make sure that our kids know what can really happen. That girl was 12 when all this happened to her. Well, it started when she was 12. It affected her, she said, all the way till 2018. So 2012, she was 12. So till she was 8, from 12 to 18, it affected her. But also, and another aspect of looking, I'm sorry that this is like word salad, but there's just so many points that can be made in this situation. Another point that I want to make is cancel culture, or like Me Too culture. Me Too culture can be a very beautiful thing. You know what? It took me till I was 27 years old to come out, well, like 26 years old, to even say out loud what happened to me. So Me Too culture and making people feel comfortable coming out with what happened to them and making them know that it's not their fault is important. But it also fosters a atmosphere where people feel like they can come out against people that this shit didn't even really happen. But people are willing to believe them because it's always believe the victim. But you have to wait for both sides of a story to come out before you make that decision. You can't just say, oh, I believe her. Because you don't know. You don't know if the other side has evidence. You don't know what's going to happen until you have both sides to make a sound decision. And then, this, like I said, the cancel culture part. Like I just said, you don't know how you're going to feel once you have everything laid out in front of you. Then decide. Don't just cancel a person immediately because you hear something. At least give them a chance to defend themselves before everybody jumps on them, because then that puts them in a position they could go and kill themselves because everybody is, jumping on the hate wagon simply because of an accusation that could be false. That is really scary to me as well. Now, should we go and tell somebody that could be a victim, I think you're lying, I don't believe you? No, don't do that either. But just be like, well, I would like to wait until everything comes out to make a decision. And especially in cases like this where nothing's ever been said before. Now, like Davi Vanity or Onision or something like that, when or like Epstein or people that are known predators, of course, we're gonna believe the victim immediately because we already know that this person's a creep. So we're already gonna have this preconceived notion in our head about this person. And that's just how it is. But when somebody's been around for so long and nobody else has ever said anything about them, I think they deserve a fair shot to tell their side. And now that dude's name is going to be wrapped up in a drama that he doesn't even deserve. He didn't even do anything, but now his name is going to be attached to accusations. And the worst part is anybody could do this to me or you. Anybody could open, because he said that one time he went to try to get his name on a Instagram account, and that somebody had used his email to make an Instagram and was impersonating him, acting like it was him posting. And then he went, because he said that he obviously changed the password and was able to get control of it because they used his email account, so he was able to change the password. But still, he went to the DMs and found out that this person had been, pretending to be him for like months and months and months, and he had no idea. And that could happen to anybody. And that's the scary part, is like, we need to be empathetic towards all sides of situations. And I know that that's really hard to do. I don't know why it's always been easy for me to see all sides of a situation. I think I get it from my mom, because my mom was always very understanding of everybody in every situation. Well, most. If somebody does something horrible, then obviously, but like, murder or somebody doing something to a child, even once that is like proven, there ain't no understanding that kind of shit. Like, you don't deserve the skin you're in. But at the same time, people deserve for due diligence to be done to make sure of what the situation really is, because situations, even when you see with your own eyes a situation, you can perceive it differently than what it really is. And I think Pastel Belle just really needs to slow her roll. I know she's trying to be a hero. I know that. Deep in my heart, I believe that she is trying to do something good. But in trying to do something good, you could end up doing something bad if you don't make sure what you're doing is... How do I explain this? I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Like, I know she's not trying to do this out of maliciousness, I don't think. Maliciousness? I don't think she was trying to hurt anybody. But unintentionally, that's what happened. She's gonna hurt his career. She's gonna hurt, his name. And it just makes me really sad, because it was almost obvious as soon as I was watching that was a catfish. Before I even watched, because his response didn't come out till I believe it was today. And then I watched also a video that was body language expert, and they watched her video, and they said that the girl, sorry, I'm having like, I don't know, swallowing, but that the girl that tells in her video, it said to him she didn't look like she was lying. But also in Creeps and McPasta's video, he said it didn't look like he was lying either. He said both of them seemed like they were genuine and telling the truth. And of course that makes sense. He's telling the truth that it wasn't him and that he would never do anything like that. And she was telling the truth that she believed it was him. And that something did happen to her, but it just wasn't by him. And that's the scariest part to me, is that anybody could be accused of this. And we as parents need to make sure that our kids know this. We need to make sure and have that talk with our kids, like, you know, about catfishing, about everything, all the scary things that can happen on the internet. Our kids need to be aware of it. Like I said, I've made my kid aware of it, and she's still, made some dumbass mistakes. Nothing that, you know, I mean, anything could have a bad ending. But I'm saying, I don't think she's made any mistakes enough to where something horrible could happen. But you never know. One stupid little mistake in your life could ruin the rest of your life. One stupid little video on somebody that wasn't actually the one could ruin his life. So we all just need to be aware of what we're doing. We all of us, even the children, they need to be aware that it is not okay to be sending photos of yourself underage. They made a law in my state not too long ago that kids that get caught doing that, they will put them on the sex offenders registry, because it's, handing out child pornography. That's what it is. And I mean, it's true. That's terrifying, because a lot of kids make that mistake. A lot of kids get talked into doing it, but they have to hold the kids accountable too, so they don't continue to do it, and to make it apparent that this isn't okay and you should not be doing this. I guess they figure if they make an example out of a few kids, then, the rest of, I don't know, that kid's class or that kid's school will be like, oh my God, I'm not going to do that. But it sucks for the kids that get into that situation, because they don't deserve to be considered a danger for the rest of their lives because they sent a picture. But at the same time, you have to show them that there are, for every action, there's a reaction. And for every mistake that you make, whatever happens, I mean, it happens. And, your parents aren't going to be able to save you at some point, especially with something like that. Your parents aren't going to be able to tell the cops, oh no, don't put them on the registry. My kid is perfect. You think the cops are going to listen to that? Absolutely not. So, I don't know.
I need some water.
Okay, mommy's coming. Alright guys, I'm going to end this video. There's so much more I could say, but I'm not going to. I hope I got all my points that I wanted to across. I gotta go get my kid some water. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Please just think about this. Please talk with your kids. Please, before you jump on a hate train, think of all the possibilities of a situation. I know it's really easy to go with your first thought, but sometimes it's not your first thought and your first reaction is wrong. So please just think about that. Please just keep that in mind. I love y'all so much. Hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.